Hey, so I'm gonna record some videos with this foreign Karn list. I saw there was a foreign Karn list that did well in one of the challenges recently, so it made me want to try um, playing around with Karn a little bit again. Um, What is there to say about this list? I'm trying back to 2 Talaria West. I'm trying to explore to help power out Karns on turn 3. I'm going to 2 Castle Garabrig, or 2 Castle Garabrig, 2 Caverns. Since this list doesn't have Cultivator, Castle Garabrig's a little less important. Back to the Slayer Sun own package, of course, without Cultivator. I'm trying Treasure Vault in the sideboard. I've seen that in a lot of Karn lists, and I think it's interesting. I think in my testing with it, I've searched for it once. It wasn't amazing or game breaking, but it was, maybe a useful thing to have in there. And then I'm also trying Kozilek. I think this card's interesting. It's a good Eldrazi for against Mill, and it's also something you can bring against 4-color or control right now. I feel like a lot of games right now are going quite long, and Titans are getting resolved, but then exiled with Solitude or whatever, and this gives you something else to play, sort of like Cultivator Colossus in those matchups, but also just very, very good against Mill, because you can have it in your deck and it gets your deck shuffled back, but also if they do end up exiling with like Taj's Hideous Laughter, it's got 10 converted mana cost, which is nice. Also in like controlling matchups, when you cast it, if they counter it, it goes back in your deck. So it's kind of just a layer of inevitability against sort of 4-color or controlling type strategies if the games do end up going quite long. Other than that, so I guess these are the new cards I'm testing out. Maybe also Sky Sovereign is one I've done before, but not in a little while, so testing that again. Let's see. Anything else I want to say about this list? Oh, Lair of the Hydra has been a card that's been really impressing me in every Amulet list. I did end up cutting Crumbling Vestige to make room for it. It's probably going to have to go, Crumbling Vestige and Lair of the Hydra are going to have to go to make room for Beseiju when that comes out. I think I want 2 Beseiju main deck, 1 sideboard once Beseiju becomes legal. I guess also this list isn't really respecting Blood Moon. That's the other thing to say. I'm only running 3 basic forest and no card to search for off of Summoner's Pact. So Force of Vigor is my only answer to Blood Moon. Hera. This could be Belcher or Control. If it's Control, this Cavern's very good. If it's Belcher, the Karn's good, but possibly too slow. But I'll go ahead and keep this. I'm caverning on Beast here because there's a great likelihood I'm just bouncing the cavern on my turn so I can replay it on whatever. But if I don't bounce the cavern, I'd like to play an Arboreal Grazer. Or sorry, if I know I'm bouncing the cavern, I'd like to be able to play an Arboreal Grazer if I draw it. Okay, so it looks like something controlling. So I feel good about having this cavern. Definitely good to be on a 2 cavern list. If they end up like prismatic ending this expedition map at every point, I won't be too broken up about that. So we'd like to draw an untapped land. If we don't draw land, we can crack map and then for an untapped land and then play Karn. Okay, Teferi, that's fine. I think I just want to resolve Karn then and attack my map into the Teferi. Yeah. And I guess I'll play Cavern on Giant. I'm also kind of hoping they exile the map because if they do, then I just get to grab it with Karn. Right now, I'm not really super excited about any of my Karn grabs. This is an ending for 4 on Karn. That would let us resolve a Dryad, which isn't the worst thing. Yeah, we got the Teferi off the table. Teferi can make a Supreme Verdict instant speed, which is, excuse me, sometimes a problem. Yeah, so I think I'll lead on Explore here to see where that takes me. Okay. We might crack map for Valakut, depending on situation. We might want a second cavern in the event of something like a Spreading Seas. So opponent's on like a 4-color control deck with Gahira. So I'm imagining there's probably Omnath as well somewhere. So they're more of a tap-out control deck. Probably have like 2 counter spells and not a lot of other counter magic. Dryad to hand. Okay. I think given that, I'm gonna crack this and get Cavern on Nymph. I don't want the Valakut trigger to make me unable to play both Titan and Dryad this turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lead on the Valakut. Then I'm going to play... This is one less Valakut trigger, but... guess I should go face... Yeah, doing it this way is one less Valakut trigger, but it's still lethal if they don't have Solitude, and if they do have Solitude, they can't, like, Solitude the Dryad in response to the first Valakut trigger, and then we wouldn't get to play Titan. Okay, so no Solitude, so we get there. So this seems like a Cavern of Souls matchup. And I think I'm going to go down a Saga, because I think my opponent is probably pretty good at interacting with Saga. Maybe go down Radiant Fountain instead. I don't think Bajuka Bog's gonna matter. I don't think Endurance is where I want to be. Yeah, I think this is okay. I'm not in love with being on 4 Sagas in this matchup, just because, Spreading Seas to Fairy, Force of Vigor, yeah, so I'll keep this hand. It has the potential to just go off on turn 2. I don't expect that we actually will, but all the cards in the hand are still good, so. Okay. I guess until I have a little bit more information of what I want to name on Cavern, I'll hold it in hand. Ice, okay. I think I'll just resolve the other Amulet for now. I think I'll do it with a Breeding Pool. There's some, like, value to still having the fetch back to, like, do some fetch shenanigans, but I think I might want to end up leading on Explore next turn before I make my land drop. And if I'm leading on Explore before I make my land drop, I'm going to need a green mana in play. Because, like, I will want to see how they react to the Explore. If they counterspell the Explorer, then I just resolve a Karn. glad they didn't steal an amulet in response to, like, my Summoner's Pact, I guess. I'm not trying to haste the Titan. I'm just going for value because I don't want to just get blown out by a Solitude. What do I want here? Probably Walking Ballista is the safest, so that if the Karn gets Furied, I still have a nice threat I can cast off Cavern. It's really hard for them to deal with Walking Ballista because if they Solitude it, then Karn can grab it again. Interesting. There's no reason they couldn't have just untapped before doing that to see what their draw sept was, if it was something that they'd rather exile or rather cast the Supreme Verdict. So, not really any reason for our opponent to make that play the way they did. What do I want? Guess probably just coding. Maybe I'll just plus on an amulet and attack the Teferi. Wrong amulet. Oh well. I should have been more careful in checking which one was the newly controlled one. Do I want to pact now? Probably. Just the safer play. Opponent doesn't really have any pressure on us. Don't want to get blown out by like an Archmage's Charm. Or a counterspell. Yeah, so I'm not going to play a Titan into a counterspell here. See what happens when I attack. if my opponent wants to like Shark Typhoon for 3, I'll just grab an Engineered Explosives for 0 post combat, and or I'll just Titan post combat, I guess, and then Engineered Explosives for 0. No reason to play the coding right now. I can wait till next turn and get my Saga down and make them use their mana less efficiently. Okay, I think I'll get Slayers here and maybe Layer of the Hydra. Layer of the Hydra just being another thing that they have to Solitude. So just sort of taxing the amount of Solitude effects they have. Or maybe they're just dead. Okay, that works.